Question 8. A school has set up a database table, school trip, to record details of students that will go on a school trip. State the reason why parent name is not appropriate as the primary key. Because it is not unique, right? It's not unique. The parent name, right? We could have some similarities. For example, two parents may be named Mr. Smith, right? Mr. Smith. And if there is no uniqueness, that means that it is not appropriate to be the primary key. The primary key has to be unique. Give the name of the field that should be the primary key. And of course, that is the student ID. Why should it be the student ID? Well, of course, because it is unique. That's the first reason. But usually, any ID will be the primary key. Yeah, usually. But it has to be unique. Okay, so for part C, the database only uses these data types: text, character, boolean, integer, real, and date. Complete the table to show the most appropriate data type for each field. Each data type must be different. So for the parent name, we will use text, it's a name, right? For the permission, we could use boolean, right? True for allowed, false for not permitted, right? So boolean. Data received might be in date, right? Date/time. It's received on, for example, the 7th of May, right? Part D. Complete the SQL statement to display only the names of the students who do not have permission to go on the trip. So let's select the student name, right? Let's select the student name, right, from the database name, which is school trip, the name of the table, right? So school trip, okay, where permission is false, where not have permission, so where permission is false, so where permission is equal to false. And then, of course, don't forget the semicolon, right? For question 9, a school stores all the students' attendance data in a file called attendance.txt. Write an algorithm in pseudocode to read a line of text from the file and store this line in the variable student attendance. So firstly, we would have to open, right? We have to open the file, right? And then the name of the file, attendance.txt, right? For read, because we're reading from it, we're not writing to it. And then we want to actually read file, and then the name of the file, and then comma the name of the variable we want to store it in, right? Student attendance, right? And then we would have to, of course, close file. Never forget to close the file. It's very important, the name of the file. Okay, so that's how we do it. For question 10, the variable seconds and minutes are used in program. Seconds holds the number of seconds as a whole number, and minutes holds the number of minutes as a whole number. Part A. Write pseudocode statements to declare the variables seconds and minutes. Right, so that's of course very simple. Declare, and then the name of the variable, which is seconds, and then the type, right, the data type integer. And we're gonna do exactly the same thing for minutes, right? Minutes and then integer, and do not forget the columns. So for part B, the procedure time, total seconds, takes the number of seconds as a parameter. The procedure converts the value held in the parameter into minutes, and seconds and outputs the result. Write the procedure in pseudocode. Okay, so firstly, any procedure starts with the word procedure, right? Procedure. And then the name of the procedure and the parameter, right? And the parameter. And then the type of the parameter, which is here integer. Okay. In the end, we will have, of course, end procedure. Okay. What should we do inside the procedure? Convert the value held in the parameter into minutes and seconds and output the results. All right. So minutes is equal to basically the division of all the seconds divided by 60, right? We will divide integer division. That means that we will get the number without the remainder nor a decimal. Right? So if we use this div, right, on total seconds, which is our parameter, and 60, right, we will get the integer division for total seconds divided by 60. And that will give us the answer with no decimals nor remainder. And that is basically the value for minutes. Now, seconds, we could calculate it by using the actual opposite of that, right? Which is mod. This is modulus. This returns the remainder of the division, right? Which is actually what you want, right? So, for example, 180 seconds, of course, that's 3 minutes exactly. However, 190 seconds, that's 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So, the integer division will return 3, and the modulus will return the remainder. So, it will be 3 remainder 10. So that is the number of seconds. So that's exactly what we want. And then of course we will output both of them, right? Just output, and then the number of minutes is then minutes, the number of seconds is seconds. Okay. So for part 11, question 11, the scores for each competitor in an archery competition are recorded. The 1D array competitor name is used to store the names of the competitors. The maximum number of competitors is 30. There are 10 rounds in the competition with a maximum score of 30 per round. The 2D array competitor score stores the score in each of the 10 rounds of each competitor. The first index of the array competitor score is the same as the index of the competitor and competitor name. After the 10 rounds have been completed, the highest score and the lowest score for each competitor are discarded. Okay, so the overall score for each competitor is the total of the remaining 8 scores after discarding the highest and lowest score. A competitor with an overall score of 210 or more moves on to the next competition. A competitor with an overall score between 180 and 209 inclusive becomes a reserve competitor, and then anything that's below 180 does not qualify. Okay, so this type of question might seem a bit intimidating at first, right? But it's actually very, very simple. Okay, so actually what you have to do here, basically, declare a bunch of variables and set them to 0, and get a bunch of inputs, and then keep on looping, right? So validates each input is between 0 and 30. Whenever you want to validate an integer, that's basically a while loop that keeps on repeating until the input is correct. And then we will just calculate, right? We will just calculate the overall score, and we just keep looping through the arrays until we have the sum and the count and highest and lowest, right? and then we will calculate and output the number of competitors. That's basically after we've done all our calculations. In the end, we just need to output everything. Okay, so try to code this up. I gave you the basic structure. Try to code it up and give me the answer in the comments, and I will help anyone who wants to ask or answer. And that will be all for today. So thank you for watching.